Mufussy's got the rage, let it flow. Holding on to stories, tales untold. He's the king of the ring, the last man standing. Dropkick the Commute.
Hello and welcome to Dropkick the Commute for February 24th, 2025. Lots of good stuff, a couple of surprises, and a new show that we're going to talk about. Before we hop into it, I am going to talk about that new show. WWE LFG. It's something. It's an interesting concept. Basically, WWE pitched it as The Voice meets wrestling, and that's essentially what it is. You have your four judges, so you have Undertaker, Booker T, Bubba Ray Dudley, and Mickie James, and basically those are your four judges for 16 up-and-comers at the Performance Center. The winner of this competition, one male, one female, will get an NXT contract. So in a way, it's like a modern day version of Tough Enough, but it's like more reality TV show based. It's interesting. Like, they're showing a lot of behind the scenes stuff and like, you know, teaching the ways of selling and teaching the art of professional wrestling, essentially. But at the same time, they keep kayfabe. Let me get into it. So you have your show, and they have like a promo section where they're like judging their first promos. They're judging just the way they carry themselves and all this stuff. And then the winners of those promos basically went into a match. But for the match, they like kept kayfabe, if that makes sense. So like they were like, okay, you're the heel, you're the face, but then they went into it and they have commentators. They have Vic Joseph, and I'm not sure who the other person was, I forget his name, but they were commentating the match while the judges were watching the match. So it's like a mix between actual WWE and then this reality show. I guess you could look at it as like you're watching it from the perspective of the judges. So in that case, it would make sense. I don't know. It was just weird how it mixed together. It felt weird to me. But overall, I thought it was a decent show. I only watched the first episode so far. Episode 2 did come out, and I haven't watched it yet, but I am going to watch that probably tonight or tomorrow, sometime this week. It's an interesting show. I'm excited to see where it goes, but I'm not sure how I feel about it quite yet. The pilot was interesting. I got to say that. So before we hop into the car here, I do want to mention I put out a video where I covered YouTube comments from the channel as well as your questions from the Google form. If you want to ask me some more questions, feel free to comment down below on this episode, or you can input your questions to the Google form, link in the description. You can leave your name anonymous if you'd like, and I will cover it in another video. Keep commenting away. I'm going to collect them. I'm going to address them. I'm going to do more of those, but if you haven't seen that yet, go check it out. Let's hop in the car. Let's get into the weekly shows, and let's talk about some wrestling, baby. Here we are in the official DTC truck in America, American DTC Trucking Enterprises LLC. That's the official name of it. Today we're delivering some milk. We're on a farm right now, and we're gonna deliver this milk truck. This is a very large truck. Hopefully I don't crash. Hopefully I don't spill my milk, if you will. I didn't do a second episode last week, so I am gonna start off with last week's Raw. We opened the show with Sami Zayn having a really passionate promo challenging Kevin Owens to an unsanctioned fight. Basically what happened was Sami Zayn was like, hey, I want this match, man. You gotta give me this match, Adam Pearce. And he was like, no, you know I can't do that. You know I can't do that. There's no way I can sanction this. And Sammy's like, well, you're gonna unsanction it. So that's what happened. We got an unsanctioned match confirmed for Elimination Chamber between Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. So that match is gonna go crazy. That's gonna be a real banger, I think. Definitely one of the matches I'm most excited for on the show. AJ Styles had his return match on Raw. He did come back a few months ago, but he had an injury, and then he came back at the Royal Rumble to everyone's surprise, which was very solid. He had a really good showing in the Rumble, and he just had his first match back on Raw against Dominic Mysterio. Really solid match, man. You got to give it to Dom. Dom can hang with these legends, these future Hall of Famers. Like, Dom is really good in the ring, and it's such a stark contrast to when he originally debuted in 2020. This man's crazy. Dominic is really, really good. Basically, this match had a lot of interference between Carlito and, you know, the Judgment Day and all that stuff. AJ Styles did get the win, but then after the match, Braun Strowman came out, and he went to go spear AJ Styles. AJ dodges it, and then he ends up spearing Dom, and then AJ gives Braun a little forearm, and Braun leaves the ring. I thought this part was really fucking funny. Braun, like, ripped off his shirt. You know, he was going crazy. He's all pissed off because he just got hit by AJ. He takes off his shirt and chucks it into the ring at AJ, and AJ catches it with one hand. It reminded me of when Brock threw the mic to Roman at SummerSlam and Roman just nonchalantly caught it. It was so good. Really gave off those vibes. Oh, this is a tight turn. Red signal offense. I can't turn on red? Bitch. Oh, I'm pissed. That makes me so angry. I didn't see a sign. Was there a sign? Got my first ticket in America. But yeah, it was really solid. Really good match from AJ and Dom. I really, really enjoyed it. Dakota Kai had a match against Ivy Nile to determine who's going to be the #1 contender for the women's IC title against Lyra Valkyria. Dakota Kai came out on top, so we are going to get a rematch there between Dakota and Lyra, so that'll be a solid match. I really enjoyed, you know, the semifinals match. I thought it was very good. Lyra is definitely deserving of it, so I would not be mad if she retains from Dakota and, you know, keeps that title for a bit longer. I want a really good run from Lyra here. She absolutely deserves that title. I do like Dakota Kai, but I think that, you know, Damage Control needs some work, and I think Dakota's character needs a bit of work. Honestly, have Dakota turn heel and turn on Damage Control. Like, that's what we need. I think that's what would help her character here. My favorite part of Raw was Gunther coming out like Jay through the crowd. He didn't come out to his music, but he kept saying into the mic, he's like, come on guys, yeet with me, I want to see what it's like. So he came out and, you know, was mocking Jay pretty much the whole time, trying to get the crowd to yeet with him. Jay comes out, they have a little brawl together, just more build up to WrestleMania, you know. This is going to be a very, very long build because they're not having anything at Elimination Chamber together. So the build between Jay and Gunther is definitely going to continue for a while until WrestleMania, and we're going to see how that goes. I'm happy with it so far. I think that it's been really good, and I really, really enjoyed this segment of Gunther coming out like Jay. We had our two final qualifying matches for the Elimination Chamber, Roxanne Perez versus Raquel Rodriguez. Basically, what happened in this was Judgment Day came out, and everyone was distracted, and Roxanne got the win with the most dangerous move in sports entertainment, the surprise roll-up. She qualified for the Elimination Chamber, which is great. Roxanne absolutely deserves to be in that after, you know, after everything I said last week, too, about Roxanne and being in the Royal Rumble and stuff. This is going to be her push to the main roster, I believe. Definitely feels like it, but this is great. So Roxanne officially qualified for the Elimination Chamber, as well as Seth qualifying for the Elimination Chamber. He had a match against Finn Balor and, you know, came out on top. So our Elimination Chamber matches are going to be Cena, Punk, Drew, Logan Paul, Priest, and Seth Rollins. So that's going to be really solid. And then our women's match, we have Liv Morgan, Bianca Belair, Alexa Bliss, Bayley, Naomi, and Roxanne Perez. So I'm really excited for the two chamber matches, and it's kind of up in the air. I don't really know who's going to win either of them. I think if you have Roxanne win the women's match, that would be fucking crazy. Like, it would be so insane. I think either Liv might win. I don't think they're going to give it to Alexa yet. You know, I wonder if we're going to have some turmoil between Bianca and Naomi here because of, you know, Jade being out for a long time. Maybe Jade comes back at Elimination Chamber or something. Not really sure what's going to happen with the two of them, but I do think that if you have Roxanne win that match, the crowd would go insane. Like, it would be such a solid moment. I'm gonna stop and get some gas here. Let's not run a red light again. Light's green, buddy. We don't have all oh man, they just get out of their car and start beating the shit out of my truck. That'd be funny as hell. I'm a little cooked here. Hold on, we're gonna have to back this bitch up. Okay, everything's fine, guys. Everything is a-okay, baby. Look at that. Solid. Uh-oh. What's stuck? Oh, my ladder got stuck. Oh no. All right, we got our gas. Let's head back to the highway here. Let me know who you guys think is gonna win the Elimination Chamber. I'll be doing my predictions later this week, but let me know who you guys think is gonna win down in the comments. I'm really interested to see if you guys have any ideas on this. Let's hop over to NXT. Obafemi came out to the ring and he was calling out the new group that attacked him. He's like, you know, you guys should face me face to face, man to man. Come in this ring right now. Lights go out. The new group does not come out, but Moose, the X Division champion from TNA, does come out. And they have a little stare down, and we're eventually going to get Obafemi versus Moose. Very unexpected surprise. I love it. I love it. I don't really know what Moose's motivation is there, but, you know, whatever the fuck, you know. Have the match. Make it happen. It's pretty solid. X Division title, arguably their, you know, mid-card title. So you're essentially having... Oh! You're essentially having a mid-carder from TNA face the main title of NXT. But calling Moose a mid-carder, like, he's not. He's just holding the mid-card title right now. But it's weird because the X Division title has so much history to it. It's almost like a second world championship. It's interesting. I would say, like, maybe the digital media title is like the mid-card title and the X Division is like their second world title. I guess you could say that. Maybe that's how TNA is looking at it. The X Division title obviously has a ton of history. You know, we had crazy matches back in the day, like most famous being AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, and Christopher Daniels. Like, that match fucking ruled. But you're having Moose face Obafemi eventually. There's no set date on it, but they're, you know, teasing it and building up to that. We had Carmen Petrovic sneaking a win to become the #1 contender for the women's North American title. That was a pretty solid match. Carmen Petrovic kind of snuck the win at the end, and Jada Parker's face was so fucking funny. She's like, God damn it. She starts attacking Carmen after she wins. We had a tag match with Zarya and Sol Ruca. We've been seeing this tag team, you know, relationship build between the two of them. Sol Ruca posted a really funny bit on social media last week of like a day in the life type thing where they were doing like bonding activities. They were playing volleyball, they were skating, and Zarya is just like a big buffoon and she kept like breaking shit. They got ice cream together and they're sitting there and they go to like cheers their ice cream, but Zarya hits it so hard that she knocks Sol Ruca's ice cream off the cone. And she's like, man. But then Zarya gives her ice cream cone. So wholesome, so nice. But yeah, I like this team. It's a really interesting dynamic, you know, because Zarya is obviously like the big powerhouse, and then Sol Ruca is like the high flyer, really athletic one. So a super interesting tag dynamic there, and I'm liking it so far. The main event of the night was Jordynne Grace, Stephanie Vaquer, and Julia versus Fatal Influence, and I thought this was so solid. We saw them at the beginning of the night, you know, and that's kind of what made this match happen. But Jordynne Grace in NXT, you know, she showed up at the end of Vengeance Day, and she 100% deserves to be there. It was interesting because I thought she was going to kind of go after them right away, but we got this trios matchup, and I really liked it. So I don't know if they're just like feeling the water for Jordynne Grace, but I mean, she's held her own there already. She's had a few singles matches on NXT, like, no one doubts her talent, but it's interesting the story route they're taking here. And then lastly, Ricky Saints. That is Ricky Stark's new name. He officially signed his NXT contract. He got into it with Wes Lee, you know, arguments backstage, and there was just a lot of chaos on NXT, as there usually is. but Ricky Saints is his new name. I'm a fan of it, and he likes it, so apparently it has some meaning behind it, which he, you know, said on Busted Open, so I like it. I like the new name, and obviously his presence is really good in NXT, and, you know, he's being himself, and it's good we get to see Ricky Starks on TV again. Oh, one more thing to mention. The Hardys will be on NXT tomorrow. Well, today, because this episode is going to come out on Tuesday, but the Hardys will be on NXT to face the NQCC. Absolutely fire. I love this. So the Hardys in WWE once again in an NXT ring for the very first time. Very, very exciting stuff. Hopping over to AEW Dynamite, MJF and Hangman started off the show with a really, really good fucking promo. You know, talking about the history between them that they've had in AEW. They're going after each other's throats here. MJF brings up Christopher Daniels, and Hangman's like, you're not even half the man that Christopher Daniels was. Just such a really good, passionate promo between the two of them, and this is what we need from MJF. MJF, you know, lately he faced Jeff Jarrett, he faced Dustin Rhodes. The thing between him and Dustin was better than the thing between him and Jeff Jarrett, but this between him and Hangman, oh baby, that's what I want to see. MJF, I think this will kind of invigorate him once again, kind of bring some life back into him, because MJF has felt kind of stale the past couple months, so I think this will be absolutely solid there. We had Powerhouse Hobbs versus Big Bill in a street fight, and this was interesting because, well, first of all, it was a really solid match. Like, you know, these two can put on a fucking banger, and they did. I thought it was really good. Lots of weapons, bricks, fucking barbed wire chairs, barbed wire table. Like, it was a crazy match. I thought it was interesting though, because they say it can only end in a pinfall, submission, or a knockout, and Powerhouse Hobbs sent Big Bill through the barbed wire table, and they counted it as a knockout because he got stuck in the barbed wire and couldn't get up. Interesting that they count that as a knockout. I mean, I guess I get it. Kind of like a last man standing stipulation there. But really good match overall. Like, Powerhouse Hobbs and Big Bill put on a banger. Tony Storm gave my favorite promo probably in Dynamite history. That's a bit of an exaggeration, but it was an absolutely solid promo. She came out and talked about how she won at Grand Slam, and she put away Mariah May. Sorry, she railed Mariah May with her small package. That's how she worded it. And she ended off the promo with, "For God is a woman and her name is timeless." Like, what a fucking line, dude. So good. Tony Storm, I'm so glad that she's Timeless Tony Storm again, because she is one of my favorite characters in all of wrestling. Like, not even just AEW, man. Timeless Tony Storm is so good. I did watch TNA this week. I watched Impact. This Impact was really, really good. Starting off the show, we had Joe Hendry's Encore Championship concert, and also this Impact was at Full Sail University, so that is solid. Obviously, famous venue. NXT was there for a long time. Black and Gold NXT. Such a good venue, and, you know, this show, this crowd was hot. It was so good. The Colognes came out when Joe Hendry was doing his concert, the Carlito's brothers, and the fucking crowd starts chanting, "Where's Carlito?" which was so goofy, but they came out and they're talking shit to Joe Hendry. Lights go out and you hear a guitar, and he goes, "Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Elijah." Elijah, aka Elias from WWE. Elijah makes his official debut in TNA Impact. So good. This led to the main event, which was Joe Hendry and Elijah versus the Colognes, and god damn, dude, such a good match. You know, I got back into WWE around the time that was, you had the whole Elias and Ezekiel bit, and Kevin Owens was trying to say that they're the same person, but they were two different people. I joined during that storyline, so I never really saw Elias's stuff from you know, when he first started or any of his NXT stuff, but I liked his performance on TNA on Thursday, and I thought it was fucking solid. And the crowd loved him too. They loved that he was there. And yeah, just really, really good. Lastly, last thing I want to talk about from TNA is Masha Slamovich had a match supposed to be against Tessa Blanchard, and of course Tessa Blanchard getting booed relentlessly. She's a racist. Blah, 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 blah. Supposed to be against her. Tessa's like, oh, I'm not cleared to wrestle. And Santino Marella's like, hey, you have to wrestle next week or you're fired and all this stuff. But Masha comes out and she's like, fine, I'll have a match anyway. And Masha has a match. It was a very quick squash match. But after her match, as she's celebrating, Cora Jade comes out and attacks Masha. And, you know, stands up there with the title. And she's like, yeah, I'm gonna win. And that match gets made official. So at TNA Sacrifice, we're getting Cora Jade versus Masha Slamovich. I think that's going to be a banger. Big thing from SmackDown. I thought SmackDown was meh this week. You can kind of tell from what people are saying, like overall general reviews about the episode. I thought it was kind of meh, but basically, am I supposed to turn? No. There are very clearly arrows there. Okay. Kind of a meh episode overall, but the big thing that happened on SmackDown this week was The Rock came back and, you know, he announces that WrestleMania 42 is going to be in New Orleans. That's his big thing. But then he calls out Cody Rhodes and he's like, Cody, we've become such good friends this past year. Pull up the picture. And it shows a picture of his mom's. You know, his mom and Cody's mom. Certainly an interesting segment, but the big thing from this is he's like, Cody, you're such a good champion, but I don't want you to be a champion. I don't want you to be the champion. I want you to be my champion. And he's like, I want you to be my boy, my corporate shill, essentially. Cody's like, what the fuck? What the fuck are you talking about? You want me to be your champion? And he's like, I want that. He points. He's like, I want that. And Cody's like, you want the title? That's what you want? And he goes, no. Nobody. I want your soul. Such a weird segment. He's just like, I want your soul. It was just very creepy from The Rock. And he's like, you don't have to give me an answer now, but give me an answer at Elimination Chamber. So we're going to have some kind of segment between The Rock and Cody Rhodes at Elimination Chamber. And it's going to be something. I don't know where they are headed with this. This could be Cody's chance to turn heel here. I don't think he's going to. I think Cody's going to say no. And I think maybe he'll go to Cena or something. Maybe we'll see Cena be a heel. Maybe we'll see CM Punk be a heel. I truly don't know. I don't know what's going to happen here. CM Punk said when he came back to WWE, he said he's not here to make friends, he's here to make money. So I'm not really sure what's going to happen on that front. It's definitely a weird situation that we're getting here. But yeah, that's really the only big thing from SmackDown that I wanted to mention was that whole segment with The Rock. It's just very strange. I don't know where they're going to go with this, but we're going to find out. The road to WrestleMania is a crazy one, and it seems it's just as unpredictable as it was last year. I am almost done my trip here, so once we do this, we're going to hop out of the car. We're going to talk about Collision. We have finished our delivery. Let's get out of the car and finish up. Collision was a really decent episode. We had some surprises here and some really, really good matches. Started off the show with a brawl between Mariah May and Toni Storm. Not really a brawl. Mariah just beat the shit out of Toni Storm. Basically attacks her backstage into a bunch of crates. Brings her out to the ramp and does a nice Storm Zero to her. Kind of knocks her out cold. And she goes, hit Tony's spotlight. So, you know, they turn on Tony's one spotlight and they're sitting between the two tunnels right in the middle. And Mariah is holding Tony in her arms, in her lap. And she just gives a promo and she's like, look what you made me do. Obviously, Mariah and Tony, like, we know about their rivalry. We know about their history. So this was just, it was good and very unexpected to see right away. I thought there was going to be more time, you know, after Tony won her title back. I thought Mariah was going to be gone for a little bit, but that was not the case. And Mariah just beat the shit out of Toni Storm, basically just killed her again. So really great match between Hologram and Beast Mortos. I don't have too much to say, but just go watch it if you like luchadors, if you like, you know, lucha libre and, you know, lots of high flying and just really, really good stuff. Really entertaining. Hologram and Beast have had a match before, and I was not a fan of it. I think it was the best 2 out of 3 falls match that they had at, what was it, All In or Full Gear? It was one of them. I thought that match, or maybe it was Wrestle Dream. I don't know. It was sometime last year. They had a best 2 out of 3 falls match between each other, and I wasn't a huge fan of it, but I really liked this match. I thought it was very good, very well paced, and very solid. Holograms looked great since he came back, so very, very solid. At the end of the match, Beast tried to unmask Hologram, but Commander ended up coming out and saved him. And, you know, those two standing tall and just really, really good stuff. I like this team that they have between Hologram and Commander. We did have a confirmation that Speedball Mike Bailey is coming to AEW. He will be on Collision very soon. They had a little vignette from him. No TNA, like, there was very little TNA footage, if any. It was all footage from New Japan, talking about Speedball, who he is, all this stuff. So that's really exciting. That's kind of where everyone expected him to go, was AEW. I don't think he's a good fit for WWE, but his TNA contract ended a couple months ago, and here he is coming to AEW. Very exciting. We had Gabe Kidd's first time on Collision, obviously from New Japan. In January, we had the match between Gabe Kidd and Kenny Omega. So that was the first time I ever saw Gabe Kidd wrestle, but he was on Collision this week, and he had a match against the Butcher. I thought it was really solid. Two big dudes just really brutal, beating the shit out of each other pretty much. Basic match, but Gabe Kidd is really good. We had a trios tag between the Death Riders and Daniel Garcia, Daddy Magic, and Cool Hand Ange. Solid match overall. The Death Riders retained, pretty expected there, I would say. But at the end of the match, the Death Riders tried to do their usual thing and attack everybody and cause chaos, but Cope came out and the Death Riders started panicking. Pac was already down. Cope came out with 2 chairs and just straight up concertoed Pac twice with a straight face staring at Mox. And I loved this. Cope said he was going to start taking out the Death Riders one by one, and that is what he started doing. He took out Pac, and everybody in the Death Riders was freaking out. Mox's face showed it. Like, this was good emotion from everybody. Cope's straight face really sold it. Like, he's gonna do what he said he's gonna do, and he wants to face Mox one-on-one at Revolution, and I think he's gonna be able to do that if he continues to do shit like this. We had Chris Jericho versus Bandito, and of course Chris Jericho retained the Ring of Honor World title. Just give it to Bandito or give it to someone else. Chris Jericho, you don't need it, man. Get rid of it. You don't need it. But that was Collision. Really solid show. Really good week of wrestling. We have a lot of pay-per-views coming up. We got Elimination Chamber on March 1st. AEW Revolution on March 9th. NXT Roadblock. That's not really a pay-per-view. It's a TV special, but that is on March 11th. We have TNA Sacrifice on March 14th. And then Maple Leaf Pro is having their second show since coming back. MLP Mayhem, Friday, March 14th, and Saturday, March 15th. Very exciting stuff. I will do another episode later this week to talk about my Elimination Chamber predictions. We have Raw tonight, NXT tomorrow, Smackdown, TNA. We got lots of stuff coming up. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to check out the comment video that I mentioned earlier. That's a very good one. And check out the quizzes as well. Keep watching those. I need those watch hours up, baby. Get me up those watch hours. And I will see you in the next one. Don't forget to drop kick your week, everybody. Goodbye. Hit him with a drop kick. That's right, Nugget. Drop kick. Drop kick. Drop kick it. Goodbye.